Greetings. Welcome back to A Cup of Conversation and Food for Thought. It's Thursday. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Thank you for joining the live. I want to start off by saying I do not own the rights to the music. The music is just playing in the background to set the tone to perhaps contribute to the Cup of Conversation and Food for Thought. Um, I am coming on to, and please like, share, and subscribe. Um, it's much appreciated. Check me out on all my platforms. This is A Cup of Conversation and Food for Thought with me, Nidra Simmons, and I am on across the board uh, under Nidra Simmons, except for Instagram. It's Designs by Nidra, and so totally over it. But yeah. So again, I don't own the rights to the music or the commercials that come through. It is just part of what I am listening to kind of set the tone in the atmosphere. As always, I come on, I give honor and glory to God. So I thank God for waking us up this morning and seeing us throughout the day. Continue to watch over, keep us and bless us. Guard my mouth, God. Less of me and more of you. I pray that the conversations that take place today is respectful. I pray that I come off respectful as well. Continue to just have your way, flow. Use me as a vessel to flow and reach your people, to help them in any way possible. Continue to keep us and bless us, protect us and provide for us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in every way possible. Continue to keep us safely protected and dressed and covered under blood and washed by the blood. Fully just one full armor of God, the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, shield of faith, so the God's holy word, but the truth and shoes of peace. God, you are truly, truly awesome, God, and worthy of all the praises. Thank you for all of those who are traveling this morning or will be traveling. Continue to keep us as we make it to and from our destination safely. And I pray that you continue to just have you in my life. I repent of all my sins and ask forgiveness, knowing and unknowing, and ask that you put me on a straight and narrow path to correction, to do the right thing, and to be in the right place at the right time with the right people. Um, and I pray that, I want to give honor and much respect to our big brother Jesus, archangels, guard angels, all angels, and the highest Christ of light. These blessings I ask and pray in your holy name. In the name of Jesus, Mother, Father, God, universe, and it is so, and so it is. So good morning again to you all. I am still going to talk about relationships, but I'm going to this is kind of like a open free for all type of conversation. I want to talk about tips for love in a relationship. I also want to talk about just have a conversation on love. What does that look like in a relationship? Um, when is it time to leave a relationship? When is it time to move to the next level in a relationship? I mean, I know the answer is really up to the individual and that person and how they feel about each other. But what is something to just, have a cup of conversation, food for thought about, something that people could think about? Or maybe they're at this point and I'm like, you know what? I want to know if I should stay or should I go? Different things. What came to mind when I said that was, we're different. We're different people. We're on different levels. Um, on different levels. So, if somebody has been going through something and they've been dealing with it for such a long time, and then you meet somebody and and you have moved forward from where you were, but then they are still there. Thank you. Do you pause your life and wait for them to catch up to you and then get together, or you just keep moving and living your life? And then if it was meant to be, and sometime we're down the future when that other person rises up to the occasion, do you meet again at that time? So say keep moving. I agree. Keep on moving because you done already been there. You done already did that. You done already lived that life, and you've passed it and moved forward. So why would you have to go back and do what they do? Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. T period. I totally agree with you. I wanted to, I started off and have a couple of conversation. And also because there are guys out there or women out there that think that you're supposed to wait for them. No, I'm going to share a story. Thank you for joining the live. I had went through a phase of life where I had to revisit who I was and learn who I was. And when I look back about, where I grew up from, everybody there was still in the same spot. So when I left that place, they were all still in the same spot. I done already got married. I done had 4 kids. I done relocated and did all this other stuff. When I came back to visit, And this is like 20 years later, they're still in the same spot. Thank you. And so I'm like, okay. And then this person's like, "Well, I want to get with you and this and this and that." And I'm like, "Well, you're not where I need to be, and I'm not going to go backwards." But the person really got mad because I explained my whole situation, my life, and all the things that I've accomplished. And you never had no children, never been married, still staying in the same facility, and then you want me to go back to that? No, I left that over 20 something years ago. So I totally agree. You keep it moving. You don't stop and pause and put your life on hold for nobody else. And I'm saying that because it's a conversation that a lot of us could afford to have. Um, you know, a lot of people stay too long in relationships as well when they should have been left. A lot of people have it in their mind that if they're married, and even though the relationship is not going good, you're supposed to stick and stay. That is not what is in the Bible. That is what man put together when you go in front of the judge and the law to get married. You're taking away the God that's supposed to be in that relationship, and you putting the government or the state or whatever into your relationship. That's another person. That's a no-no. And I'm not saying don't get married. If you want to get married, you're free to do whatever you want. I'm not against it. I was married. But I'm simply saying I was married. I'm a widow now. Um, and who's to say if my husband was still alive, if I would have ever left? But I stayed in my marriage a little bit too long. There's times where I should have walked right on out because my life was put on pause. And this is not to get anybody upset because this might be a trigger. Wait a minute, I don't bid my husband such and such, and I stayed. Good. I'm happy for you. Thank you. But I'm just having a cup of conversation, food for thought. But yeah, it's not a law. I mean, it is a law because it's the law that you went before, and then you're going to try to say you went before God, and then you got God and you got the law. But they didn't have weddings like they have now or vows like they had now way back before, in time. There was other ways that they were together. And I don't want y'all to get confused. I am not against marriage. I'm all for it. But if you and that person are not able to see eye to eye or work together to see each other grow and constantly doing things that hurt each other, that's not something you want to be in. I stayed in one. I thought I was doing a good thing to stay in there for my kids, but your kids gonna see what's going on. So if you're staying in a relationship or a marriage just because of the kids and you want them to be healthy and see healthy love, they're going to see the true love. They're in the house with you every day. Don't think that they're not going to see it. I thought that they didn't see it, but I found out shortly after that they were seeing things that I was like, oh, wow. So I endured all of this, but my story is different. I endure a lot of things because I consider myself to be a generational curse breaker. I found it. So in my situation, I consider me to be different. And if anybody asks me how you describe yourself, I'm different. There is nobody else out there like me. You can claim to be like me, but you're not. I am 100% different. You ask me what I'm going to do tomorrow or how I'm going to, become, what I'm going to be in the next 5 or 6 years. I can tell you, but I may not be that way, because thank you. Um, can you come up for a minute and talk about what? I got to ask questions beforehand because I went ahead and received someone that came on, and man, and so they were in the middle of something. I speak truth. I can only talk about what I know, what I've experienced, and what I've been through, and what I witnessed. But if you ask me, do I believe in God? I do believe in God, the Creator, the ultimate Creator, the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore. But I speak truth. People may not agree with it, and that's okay. It's my truth. And nobody can know it better than me because I lived it, not them. But yeah. But I'm waiting for that person to respond that asks to come on. I want to know what they want to talk about. How would you deal with loneliness? How would I deal with loneliness? Listening to music. um, I just, whatever I need to do to get, if I'm feeling lonely and it's bringing me to a low spot, I will do what I need to do to get out of it. Listen to music, go walking, journal, work. And that was one of my things that I did for everything. I would work, 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 work. That's not always a healthy thing to do, but it'll get your mind away from where you're thinking. And if you can do healthier things like walking or journaling or sitting out on the patio and just meditating and listening to God. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. Then you do something like that, or you treat yourself. You love on yourself. If you're feeling lonely and you want to be around somebody or you want to do something special, be around yourself. Do something special for you. Um, something as simple as getting a manicure, pedicure, getting a haircut, you know, buying a pair of sneakers. um, you know, something that you want to make you feel special. Women can change up their looks and buy hair. You could buy yourself something nice. If you're looking at some jewelry, buy yourself a piece of jewelry. Buy materials to make your own jewelry. Do things to keep you occupied. What I did after my husband passed, um, I started making jewelry. How much do what cost? For yourself? Because if you're buying it for yourself, what you willing to spend for yourself? And the price of something, if you're buying for somebody, if it's from the heart, if it has meaning to it, you don't have to prices. You don't have to spend on that. Spend you can create something. Just like I said on a couple of lives ago that I was referring to what men and what women want. Five pairs of sneakers. So you're a fan of sneakers, huh? You know, buy what makes you special. If you're feeling lonely, there's a lot of things to do to get unlonely, to feel unlonely. Take walks in the park. If you have the opportunity, which is something I want to do so bad. But if you have an opportunity, go and sit in front of the beach and sit out there and just enjoy the waves and meditate and spend time and talk to God and just, or just listen to music or have an adult beverage or something. Just chill, relax. Good. Okay. Well, then you need to get that then. But yeah, this is like just a free fall conversation on love. And I was just, sitting back and looking at what that looks like. Um, and then I thought about, you know, what does love look like? And that looks like something different for a lot of people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Um, but yeah, what does that look like in love with somebody? And can you love somebody for real when they are completely in their normal state, like first thing in the morning when you wake up? Or do you wait until they put their makeup on and be like, okay, okay, she here, she back. Or he here, he back. If, he shaves and all that other stuff. Can you appreciate your mate at their truest form? Thank you. Same to you. Thank you for joining the live. Hello, how are you doing? Um, but yeah, thank you for joining the live. I'm in North Carolina. Where are you from? But I appreciate all of you. I like to see the familiar faces. I see some familiar faces coming on. Thank you for joining the live. It's much appreciated. Lets me know that I have some friends out there. Um, Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. For those of you who are joining, I'm still talking about relationships. I think relationships conversations are popular right now, but it's also a topic that needs to be addressed because we have so many people going into relationships and they're not ready for relationships. They just don't want to be alone. And when you're looking at it that way, you're not being fair to the person that you're going in the relationship with, because you could be going in a relationship with somebody and they're really seriously all into it and they want to grow and move forward, and you're just in it because you want a partner. You don't want to be by yourself. It's okay. I've only been on for about 15 minutes. I got up earlier this morning. Yesterday I got up. I normally get up at 4. And yesterday I got up at 6, a whole 2 hours over the time that I normally get up. And then within that 2 hours, I didn't budge. I didn't wake up at 2:15. I didn't turn over at 2:30. I remember waking up at exactly 6. No interruptions in between. So I must have been very, very tired. Um, Somebody asked me, am I single? What does it matter if I'm single or not? But yeah, a cup of conversation and food for thought is the name of my segment. And the conversation or topic of choice, or the umbrella that I'm under, is about conversation on love. And this is just a free fall. This is just a free fall of conversation on love. And it's just anything, because I've talked about different topics on love for the past 2 weeks. This is the second week. So I'm kind of sitting back and looking at everything that was discussed and trying to see if there's some other areas that needs to be addressed. And so that's when I came on and I started off by talking about how talk about how I'm looking at the conversations. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, funny out there. But when is it a good time to leave a relationship, or when is it a good time to, or how long is it a good time to stay within a relationship before you either reach that point of love or not? I mean, that's probably confusing. Do you stay in a relationship longer than it needs be? And if so, how do you know when it's time to leave? I think that's a better way of putting it. Because you have people that believe that love is, you have people that believe that love is supposed to be forever. Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever, forever. Okay? Yeah, that's what I said. Where you from? And then you have people that believe that uh, and this is something that's learned and developed throughout the time of being in relationships, that you learn to love yourself and realize, you know what, it's more about me than it is the other person. I need to make sure that I'm happy. I need to make sure that I'm healthy and taking care of myself. So I'm going to not continue this relationship because it's not healthy for my health. This is the type of thing I'm asking. Self-care is important. So, when do you leave a relationship? Okay, nice to know. I've been there. Here's some old school jams coming up now, bringing back some memories back in the days. When the respect is gone, it's time to leave. So, yeah. That is excellent. And I like the way you stated that. You said that right straight to the point. It took me a minute to get around to it. But yeah, when the respect is gone, it's time to leave. Because when that respect is gone, then that person is open to just mess around and deal with whoever they want. And I've watched shows where, and I've heard people's stories too, that the respect was gone, and they're living in the same house, and then the man or the woman will bring their other half that is not legally their half in the same home with them, and some will have them live in the same house with them. While, if we're roommates, let's establish that we're roommates. Anything that is connecting us to be more than roommates, remove that, and then that way I'm free to do whatever you do. I do, and you're free to do whatever you want to do. But if we're still together or legally connected, I'm even seeing shows on TV. I think there was something I saw on Netflix. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a husband and wife that lived together. You exactly know your value. And then she brought her boyfriend in the house, and they in one room, and she in the same house, and they got kids that live in the house too. And I'm like, this is wow. But we're living in a world where people don't care and don't have values. But I agree that you need to learn, and this was something I had to develop through learning. I didn't just jump in and think. I went through a situation realizing that this wasn't what I want. Good morning. Happy blessed Thursday for you, to you as well. Thank you. Um, but yeah. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so basically knowing when to leave, knowing when to stay, and having self-respect for yourself. And when the respect within a relationship is gone, then that's a good sign that you might want to leave. The way you see me roll on this live is how I'm gonna roll in those comments. You see me by myself, that's how I roll. So if anybody is trying to make conversation in there, I acknowledge it. So if you want to see if I acknowledged your comment, I did. I don't know you nor your auntie. So thank you for making your appearance. Now you can kindly walk away and go do this on your own life. Okay, so we got people that's screaming for attention. So I guess it's an educational time. Time to go back to basics. This is a cup of conversation, food for thought. My name is Nidra Simmons. Anybody else in the comments that's trying to suggest or pull you away or add anything on to the conversation, you are grown. You receive whatever you receive at your own, you grown. You do what you want to do. But as far as whoever this is trying to act as if they know me, they don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't be on showing how true or how old they are. So if you feel that it's necessary to jump on other people's life and bully your way in and try to make the person that is talking feel foolish, this is not the one. This is not the place for you. Because I'm going to give you the attention that you need, show you that you're acting an age below that's required to be on this live. So I suggest that you go and do this on your own because it doesn't take much. And with a name like that, you can have your own life and pull in your own crowd of people. But yeah, bringing us back to the topic, and we're talking about love. We have people that's in relationships that are having secret competitions with their other half. Just like we have people that come on with these secret competitions to try to throw off the people that's speaking. But I'm not in competition with nobody. I am a person that is a woman of God. I do what I feel God is asking me to do. I come on to encourage, uplift. Yeah. And I try not to reply, but sometimes people seek attention. And when they seek attention, it's a cry for help. And sometimes people just might need that help to recognize or let them know that what they're doing is not needed. You can go on and do your own life, and then you can label it whatever you want and do what you want to do. But I don't appreciate bullying. I have a low tolerance for bullying. And when people come on anybody's live, because I watch other people's lives too, and I see how they respond to it, I'm not going to respond the same way. But I'm still going to go on with my conversation because I realize what it is. It's a distraction, and it's trying to distract those who are listening to me and the actual person that's speaking to get off the topic offhand. But I'm the type of person that's going to use that and bring it in within my topic. Because when that person came on, it reminded me that, you have a lot of people that have hidden agendas and secret competitions within a relationship or a friendship, any type of those ships that we have. And the other person has no idea that they're in competition. And it ties in, this particular person is showing me that they are in competition with my attention and with the attention of you all out there. So I'm not in competition. And they don't realize that this has helped me and brought back to memory of something else I can talk about in a relationship. And you have people that's married and in competition with one another. And you can't let love overlook the fact that you got somebody in competition, or if you have a sense of something. Now, let me give an example to break it down a little bit further. Yeah, thank you. And I'm gonna still let my good vibes flow. This is just a test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. And if people want to see if they can bring me out of character, even though I talk about this every day, that you need to stay in character, love yourself, know who you are, know your limits. All I'm doing is practicing what I preach. No, I'm not a preacher, but that's just a saying. I'm just talking about what it is that I do. I show it. So if anybody's ever in doubt or question, is she about it? I'm about it. Because I can show you as well as I can tell you. And that used to be our phrase, I can show you better than I can tell you. So you take something negative and you turn it into a positive, and you allow it to help those that's out there. Good morning. Thank you for joining my live. Haven't seen you in a minute. But yeah. Reason why what brought me back to this particular conversation. You can have people that are good for one another, and then they're constantly arguing, and you're trying to figure out why is there so much arguing going on. I thought we were cool. We but if you don't have communication and conversations in your relationships, then you won't know if somebody is in competition with you. You usually will know by either actions of what you see and by what is being done. Like, for example, I dated a guy, and it seemed like everything the guy said made sense when it came from the guy. But then when I said it, it was overlooked. I don't know what I'm talking about. But then he'll come back with the same thing I said, and it sounds better because it came out of his mouth. Now, one might say that's just the person. I've heard the saying, for as far as to make a relationship work with a man, you need to let them know that they're right. And I heard men say, if you want a relationship to work with a woman, thank you. You need to make sure you got to tell them everything that they say or do is right. You want to know what kind of example is this? Okay. This is an example of trying to show you what competition between two people are. Okay. Secret competitions. People that's in relationships, that's together, but one person does not want the other person to be at their level. Not realizing that the one that is coming out with the information that the other one don't want to be at the level is way up here, and this person is right here. But because they sense that, they try to keep it up here. They're in competition. They're in secret competition with the person that they're with. They want to come off as if they know more than the other person, because possibly, in my case, the person was older than me. So because the person was older than me, they felt like they knew more than me. Okay. So what does this have to do with anything? I'm talking about a different conversation of love and relationships. People can still love each other and be in competition with one another. And so I was trying to show that point. This is an open conversation. I'm pulling from anywhere and everywhere that God gives me, because somebody out there might need to hear it. So if it didn't work or fit for you, it's okay. It might fit and work for somebody else. Healthy competition and competition are two different things. And what I'm talking about is not a healthy competition. It is a competition to where someone is ego driven, and they don't want to come off thinking that they're not where they at, not realizing the other person already sees. And I'm going to bring it straight to what I'm saying. I realized in that relationship who that person was, how they were, and I've seen their insecurities and so forth. And they thought I didn't, because I'm not going to be the one that said, I told you. No, that's not me. I'm going to say something, and if you overpower what I say, that's one method for me to know that you red flag, red flag. So if if the conversation was going on, I done threw myself off. But anyway, red flag. If somebody overpowers you when you're talking, good morning, thank you for joining the live. And every time you try to speak, they try to corner your conversation so it can't go past. Almost like you having a verbal basketball game. You're talking to get your point across, and they're talking to try to make sure that your point stops right there. You have to look at things. You have to pay attention to people. You have to recognize the patterns. And once you do recognize those things, you don't have to verbally say it. Just acknowledge it mentally for yourself. And then you can move on from there. A lot of people feel like you don't know who they are or their characteristics or even feel their energy until you say something. And once you say something, then you know, look, I see where you're going with this. And in that case right there, the competition, it wasn't a healthy competition, because as time went on, I got upset because nothing I said was important. Nothing I said was valid. Everything I said, you took it, counterparted, add your twist to it, and then spit it back to me. You're going to get enough of that. You're not going to want to keep being involved with somebody, and every time you speak, they got to correct what you say or counter. And they probably said I corrected what they say. But then it comes a question of, that healthy competition can turn into arguments. So, I mean, that wasn't healthy. That competition can turn into arguments. That's not considered an example of healthy competition. I hope I'm making sense, y'all. I was trying to tie, well, I didn't. I wasn't trying. I did. I tied it in, but I don't know if you guys received it how I see it. In my brain, it made sense to me, and I had examples to give out, but I'm forgetting that it's a different arena of people out there. So I'm going to pull back from that conversation for just a minute and think about what I just said. Because this is live and thoughts are coming straight off the top of my head. And I'm not seeing it to go back and see what it is. A relationship is a partnership. If you can't communicate, you have nothing. I agree. I think communication is key. And respect is key. Honesty is key. And I think love is key. But a lot of people are in a world or a mindset to where they think love is not real or love doesn't exist because they've been hurt time and time again. But hurt people hurt others. But you don't have to stay there. You can feel better, get better, do better, and learn how to love better. But that takes, you taking those one-on-one time to get in to know yourself. I believe in love too, but I've had people tell me that they don't believe in love. They think love is BS. And I'm like, no, love is not BS. I consider myself the rawest form of love, and I'm not BS. I can teach you that love is real through this conversation. Yes. Do you love yourself? Do you want the best for yourself? Do you take care of you before you take care of others? That's all love. And it starts with you. You have to love yourself enough to respect yourself to not put up with a lot of things. So you're not asking for love. You're asking for something else. You got to be able to learn to read between the lines. Boundaries are very good. Boundaries are very healthy. Do you know who's going to hate the boundaries that you make for yourself? The ones that break them. So if you are around people that's always saying, we ain't got no boundaries, we together, be one. You one of one and you're one of one. Together you're two. So you have to have boundaries for yourself and for others. So anybody that comes against the boundaries that you make are the ones that want to break your boundaries. And I don't know if you realize how many people like to see people down, and they get their kicks off of you being down. Self-love is needed. It's not selfish loving yourself. You have to love yourself before you can love others. You have to be able to take care of you before you can take care of others. You can't, if you have no oxygen in your body, you can't help nobody do anything because you can't move. Without breath in your body, you're nothing. You're lifeless. So you need to make sure you take care of you before you take care of others, period. Point blank. Like the kids when I teach them when they read and we do the punctuations, period. But yeah, 555. But yeah, communication is key. Do you do matchmaking? I have not done matchmaking. No. I've seen it done on the TikTok, but I don't do that. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. People in my neighborhood tell me all the time that I wish to have my energy and self-confidence. So then you're that example. You're showing them, you're inspiring them how important it is and how good it looks and feels to love yourself. So keep doing what you're doing. That's awesome. A lot of us, or people in general, don't have the example or role model to know what to do, how to do. And so I commend you on doing what you do just by being yourself. Being authentically yourself can show other people how to authentically be themselves. And a lot of people need to know how to do things because we have different types of learners. No, I'm not married. I'm a widow. But a lot of people need to know how to do certain things. I don't judge nobody, and I believe that this goodness in people. Hello, how you doing? And I agree with you too. I don't judge either. I only think the judgment is only placed for God. God is the only one that can judge. Everybody's gonna have to go and speak to God, whether you believe it or not. That's up to you. But God is the only person that can judge. I don't judge. I'm not perfect, so I can't judge. I can't tell you how to live life and what's right and what's wrong for you because you're living your life. I can tell you what's right and wrong for me because I have to live my life. So therefore, I can't judge you on nothing. I ain't paying your bills. I ain't cooking your. I ain't doing none of that stuff for you. You doing all that for you. So you do what's best for you. I am not here to judge nobody. We all have to make a living in this world. In order to survive in this world, you need to have a job. In order to survive in this world, you need period. You need to make money. But in order to make money, you have to have a job. So I don't judge. I don't judge. People be like, well, you working here, you doing that. Are you paying my bills? So if you don't like what I do, I suggest you make room for me over there and you pay my bills so that I don't have to. What are you down for? Do you? No, I don't want to stay single. Oh, you can judge me. Lock me up and throw. I'm not judging. And I'm not scoring from my past relationships or the fact that my husband has passed. I believe in love. I want to be loved. I want to be with someone I can grow old with. I believe that's the intention of what or why you have man and women together here on this earth. I believe it when the Bible said man should not live by bread alone. You have God, you're a spirit, you live in a house, and then God made a helpmate. So you should have a helpmate. But I don't want a helpmate that's going to bring me down. By no means. I don't want a helpmate that's going to make me feel low. I want a helpmate that's going to love me, and I'm going to love them, and we can go together and go up together. I don't want to wait for you here until you catch up. No, I want us to be at a equal playing field or level field and go forward. Would you date a man who is poor? Why'd you ask that question? Do I look like I'm superficial? um, And what do you mean by poor? Describe that poor for me. I mean, because you can have a man that's poor in many things. So if you're poor in low self-esteem, I mean, if you're poor in your being as far as not loving yourself to do better for yourself, would I date you? Because you're gonna bring me down. If you're talking about financially, money's not everything. But don't ask me to wait for you, and I'm struggling to get up here, and you find where you at. That's no. I'm not superficial, or I'm not a gold digger, or have to have money. If I'm working my tail off to get to where I need to go, and you just sitting there and you receiving whatever you can, and you home just chilling and playing video games, pour that way. Oh no, I'm not. We're not equally yoked. I need someone that's going to inspire me, just like I'm going to inspire them, and we're going to go together and move forward. I'm not trying to catch nobody up. I'm done with that. My youngest child is 18. I am done playing the role of raising. If you met me along the line when I was raising my kids, then you got the benefit of what came with, you know. But right now, because, and that doesn't make me a bad person. That just makes me someone that who knows what she wants. You know, I'm not trying to go backwards. I'm trying to go forward. And I say try because, you know, life is what you know, we're not promised tomorrow. I agree with you because men are providers, not by nature. I agree with you because men are providers by nature. Man as in human men. Because you got some men out there that don't provide. They talk a good game and they say they're the man, but they don't provide. So if you're saying men as in the human race, men and women, okay. I try to keep it real. You know, I'm someone that had to go through life a little bit on a hard. I went through life the hard way. When I hear people say the man's supposed to provide and take care of the woman and all that other stuff, I hear you, and that's all I'm doing. I'm hearing you because I had to. All my life I had to fight, and I had to work and I had to pay bills. I did not have the soft luxury life growing up. When I say I took care of my family, I took care of my family. So if I seem a little distant or if I pause when you say the man's supposed to provide, and I was married, I'm listening to you. If I don't say nothing, I'm listening to you. I'm gonna let you speak. I just can't relate to it because I don't know all the way what that's like, and that's just me. Um, and people can say, "Well, that's your choice," and absolutely, it was my choice, and I've learned from that, and I'm moving forward, learning my lesson. That is a lesson I do not want to repeat. So, if you for those who ask me what I date with a poor what I date a poor man, you got to break that down, like my friends say, a neck bone. Because I'm not trying to go backwards. I'm not trying to, you know, if you can't meet, and this should be for anybody, not just me. If you love yourself like you're supposed to, you don't want to be with someone that's not going to be where you are and go forward. If someone can't love you the way that you love you or close to it, that's not someone you want to be in love with. But I know matters of the heart. The heart wants what it wants. You can't tell your heart who to love. It's going to tell you. And I understand that. All I ask in those cases is that you read between the lines, that you recognize the patterns, that you don't ignore your intuition, don't ignore your um, discernment. Let all that work for you so that you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is something you want to go forward in or not. I told myself when 2026 came in that I was not going to be fooled by getting to know the person inside. I'm going to look at the whole person. I'll get to know the person inside, but if your outside showed me something different about who you are, then I'm gonna go by that too, and that's probably what I'm gonna go by first. I'm not gonna sit here and go 1 to 2 years trying to figure out focus on getting to that inside. If your outside show me something totally different and your inside is yearning for what I can offer, your outside might be powerful and louder than your inside. I'm walking. I'm walking. That's that's the point that I'm at. And I feel that you all out there should look at it from that standpoint too as well, because if you've had a lifetime of lessons in the past that told you and showed you that you look at the whole picture, not just the heart, not just the matters of what you're feeling for that person and you know their capabilities and their abilities. No, you look at the whole picture and then you judge from the whole picture. Look for the whole picture because life is short. Life is short. And I know that there is no respectable person. We can all go at any time. So why not make the best of the life that you live now? And if you have been blessed to live long enough to overcome so many things, don't secretly hold on to your own stuff. Don't hold it in. Share your knowledge with others. Life is too short. And why you hold it in? You're going to take it with you when you leave? Who did you benefit or help in the time that you were here? We're all here to help one another. Whether you choose to or not, whether you've been burnt and hurt and you don't want to, we're all here to help one another. Period. So if you've learned something, what is the terminology? Don't gatekeep. Share it with somebody because you might help somebody. Experience is a good teacher, but it doesn't have to be the only teacher. We can learn from word of mouth. We can learn from people's knowledge put in books. We can learn from everything else other than having to physically go through life and moving according to how things have to attack you. No, use the help and the knowledge and the wisdom that you have received for those who are no longer here. Use all of that knowledge and wisdom that you were taught from the ones that you had the most much respect for, and use that knowledge to help you live the life and go forth and live your life. Don't let that knowledge that they gave you go in vain. Use it and let it work in your favor, and then help others so it can work in their favor. Well, I'm glad you learned something today. And learning is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Sorry, y'all. Every time I hear a phrase, it's like a song that goes through it in my head. And even music, I could be sitting in the class, some songs just be coming through, and I'm forced to sing the songs because it's in there. I sing it out loud too because there's a message behind it. So I try to hear. Oh, you scared the mess out of me. I saw an image coming my way, and I had to make sure it was a real image. But 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 yeah, I'll change the subject. My daughter had walked by, and I didn't see her walk by because I had that bright light right there, and then all of a sudden it appeared right there. But yeah, we've been on for 48 minutes. I hope that this cup of conversation and food for thought was helpful. I hope that it it helps somebody. I hope that it encouraged somebody, uplifts somebody. I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And I don't want to stay on too long because I don't want to get caught up on one of the platforms. Plus, I go on to another platform after this one to give a little encouragement there. And so that's why I said check me out on many platforms. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, uh, TikTok, Lemon, Instagram. Good day to you. Thank you for joining the live. Yeah, I only stay on for about 50 minutes, 50 minutes. So, because I still have to get out there and, do the rest of my day. I still have to work. I would love to have this as a job and allow it to pay my bills. But as of right now, I still have to work. But I come on. What's your question? I come on to encourage, uplift, and to help someone move forward in a positive direction throughout the day. I don't tell you what to do. I don't tell you how to do it. I just try to give you a different perspective or a different way of seeing something, shine a light on something to make it more easier for you to understand or to make your decision on what you have to do. I'm here to encourage. How do you say? By loving myself and having that relationship between me and God and meditating. That's how I stay beautiful. Thank you. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for joining my live. Then love yourself. Love yourself. People don't realize how awesome and how healing and how great their own love is. Give it to yourself and make it go all in you and come out of you, and then people will receive it just by your presence or a smile. So God loves you. I love you. Till next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Peace.